Good evening and welcome to tonight's regional news. We begin by taking a look at news from the Dominican Republic. The president of the Dominican Republic has announced plans to build a fence along its border with Haiti, which extends for about 380 kilometers. Luis Albendedero said the barrier would help curb illegal immigration, drugs, and the flow of stolen vehicles between the two countries, which share the Caribbean island of Hispaniola. The president said work on the barrier will start later this year. Haiti is one of the poorest nations in the Western Hemisphere. Relations between the two neighbors have been historically difficult. The president said in an address to Congress that in a period of 2 years, they will put an end to serious problems of illegal immigration, drug trafficking, and the movement of stolen vehicles. The cost of the project has not been disclosed. The president said that the barrier in some conflictive sections would include a double fence along with motion sensors, infrared systems, and facial recognition cameras. The Dominican Republic, which has a population of about 11 million, has already constructed some stretches of fencing along the border. We turn attention to Jamaica. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says 1.8 million COVID-19 vaccines have been secured for Jamaicans who are willing to take the dosages. A survey by the ministry has suggested that 35 to 40% of the 450,000 persons to be initially vaccinated have indicated their willingness to take the vaccines. Tufton announced that they can now confirm that the allocation under the African Medical Supply Platform has been approved, and a total of 1.8 million doses of the vaccines are to be supplied to Jamaica starting April 2021. He was speaking at a virtual press conference on Sunday to update the nation and the government's response to the present spike in COVID-19 cases. Prior to the arrival of those vaccines in April, 14,400 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccines are to be delivered on or before March 11 under the COVAX facility, according to Tufton. Now for some Haiti news. CARICOM is calling for free and fair presidential elections to be held in Haiti in accordance with the country's constitution and as early as possible. This position was outlined in a communique issued by the CARICOM Secretariat on Friday after the end of the 32nd Intersessional CARICOM Heads of Government meeting on Thursday. CARICOM said its leaders are concerned about the deteriorating political situation and the deepening public anxiety over citizen security in Haiti. Moise has vowed to rule by decree until a new parliament is elected and a new president is sworn in on February 7, 2022. He was elected in 2015, but that poll was later cancelled on grounds of fraud. He was elected again in 2016. Moise was only sworn into office on February 7, 2017, and he and his supporters say that since his mandate only began on that date, it ends in 2022. Haitian opposition parties have staged public protests to demand Moise's removal. Some news from the IDB. The Caribbean governors of the Inter-American Development Bank backed Build Forward, a $3.5 billion year program to help Caribbean countries sustainably recover while making technological leaps that will bring about a transformational future. The initiative includes a multi-donor facility to provide targeted grant and concessional financing for smart and resilient projects. The facility is expected to mobilize $1.5 billion in resources for a series of activities that include advisory services, project preparation, and catalyzing private capital for investments in resilient infrastructure, nature and disaster risk-based solutions. IDB management briefed governors about Build Forward ahead of the annual meeting of the IDB Group, which will take place on March 17 to 21. In a virtual format, governors, the top decision makers at the IDB, the Caribbean's biggest provider of development finance. And finally, some international news. Downing Street has said schools in England will reopen on Monday as planned, despite the discovery of a number of cases of a Brazilian variant of the coronavirus. Boris Johnson's official spokesman says schools will reopen on March 8 as we set out in the roadmap. The spokesman said that included in South Gloucestershire, where 2 cases have been found. He said that they have deployed the extra surge testing in Gloucestershire to ensure ensure that if there are any other cases in that local area that they can identify, then ensure those persons are isolated. Well, that has brought us to the end of tonight's regional news. Thank you for watching, and back to you, Travis.